Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast, your one-stop shop for television, movie, video games, comic books, book reviews, and more. Now, without further ado, here's Steven and Mike.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone show. Man, we are so glad you're here with us. I am your co-host, Mr. Stephen Boster, along with my illustrious good friend, Mr. Michael Shanks. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Good morning to all you geeks out there in geekdom land.
Woo! Well, welcome, everybody. We've got an interesting show for you today. But first, a lot of times we like to talk about what is happening in our geekdom world. But if you missed it on Wednesday night, Wednesday night, Mike and I could not wait. We did our review of episode 3 of Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus series. Mike, when does that actually hit our podcast? I know it's on the Facebook page and our YouTube channel and all that.
Well, we are currently recording this episode on Saturday, June 4th, and that one will release midnight Sunday, June 5th. So midnight tonight is when it will release, as of the time of recording this. So if you are listening to this after this episode has been recorded, that one is already dropped.
Right, but if you're watching us live,
right. I just wanted to clarify that. So,
yes, no, good clarification. I appreciate that.
Derek, good morning, Derek.
Good morning, sir. Good morning,
Thank
Derek.
you for joining us.
Derek, thinking about you, man. So I saw your post this week on Facebook. So just right there along with you. So,
Derek's going to like today's topic too. So yeah, it's like a time paradox.
Derek is like a time paradox.
Nice.
I love it. Well, also, Derek, just so to let you know, along with the three geeky dads, one of the other things that I want to bring up is I watched my first horror movie for part of our Stephen Watches Horror Movies special podcast. And I watched American Werewolf in London.
Nice.
So I watched it yesterday while cooking dinner, and so I'm pretty excited about sharing it.
Derek's is so proud. Nice.
Yes, the three geeky dads got the ex-pastor. Well, I guess I'm always pastor, but to watch horror movies.
Nice. Now,
the perfect way to start your adventure. Yeah, I can't remember which one of you had recommended that one, saying that should be one of the first ones and stuff. So yeah, it's funny. So these won't be long podcasts, you guys. This is just, kind of Stephen does his review kind of a thing. So maybe anywhere between 5 and 15 minutes, not real long. And
don't forget what I always say.
What do you always say?
Save it for the podcast.
Save it for the podcast. Yes, I'm not going to say anything else.
Don't give too much away.
You guys know, be looking for that. You'll find it on our Ko-fi page. It will be a separate podcast link, I think. Have we decided on that? If we want to do it like a separate,
I think you announced that it was going to just go out on Ko-fi, but it would go out to all levels. So any Ko-fi, it should just go out on our Ko-fi RSS feed, I think. Yeah,
and even if you just want to do a one-time gift, I think it also pops up on there too. Like if you just do a one-time gift, you'll get it and stuff like that. So anyway, okay. So there's that. Mike, did you have anything going on in your geekdom world?
Well, we do still have plans to record our next Ko-fi only episode.
Sci-fi show.
Classic sci-fi.
Classic sci-fi. Excuse me, not old. Classic. Let me get that right.
We're not old. We're classic. Right. Or vintage. Because I like vintage action figures too. So
Yeah.
So yeah, we got plans for that. Hopefully if everything goes like we got planned, we should be able to record that next week. Hopefully. And I believe we're going to do Planet of the Apes.
Yes, the Charlton Heston one.
Yes. Get your damn hands off me, you damn dirty ape. After I watch the movie, I'll have the line right. So,
right.
It's been a while since I watched it, but I like that movie a lot. So,
yeah,
that should be really good.
I'm sure we'll have all discussions about that. And
other than that, Disney is reporting that Kenobi is their most watched new
Disney Plus.
Yeah, Disney Plus TV series out of everything they've put out for Disney Plus. So that's good news. That's really good news.
That is good news. Now, I saw a post that you put on our page that I think, who else did it? The Escape Pod did it, but saying that there's a rumor.
Yes.
A rumor. So what can you tell me about that?
Oh, sorry. I was looking at a message from Angie. What was sorry?
A rumor about Obi-Wan. You posted a rumor about Obi-Wan.
So, rumor has it Obi-Wan has gotten the green light for season 2, which
that's the rumor.
Yeah, it's a rumor. Because originally we had been told that this series would be one and done. So 6 episodes and that's it. And they even advertised it as how did they put it? Yeah, limited series. So, but I think the popularity of the series, money talks, right?
Yeah, right.
So I think the popularity of the series has changed their minds, and they've decided to do a second season. At least that are the reports. I haven't heard anything from official sources. Like I haven't heard anything from Disney or ILM. Normally, I don't like to put news like that up, but I am excited of the possibility.
Well, and I think it's important to say that we haven't confirmed it, so right. it hasn't been officially confirmed. But
I did say on the post, rumors have this, so it's not official. It is a rumor. So I'm hoping that it happens. That would be really, really cool.
Yeah.
There was something else I was going to say, and I don't remember now.
Everybody, you just heard the penguin fall off the iceberg.
Did you hear the splash?
And he's sinking fast.
We need a splash sound effect for when the penguin falls off. I gotta remember to look for that.
Right. That's great.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Okay. Anything else you wanted to chit chat about? If you have to think about it later, we'll talk about it later. Everybody, we're trying this new thing, but the first 10 minutes where we talk about kind of what's happening in our geekdom world and what we're into or what we're listening to or we're doing. So my time this week was getting ready for the horror.
Angie did
podcast.
Send us a message telling us to remind listeners that we are still trying to work out details to do some kind of watch party on Discord.
On our Discord,
right?
On our Discord page.
We're trying to work out the technical details of all that. We've run into some issues here and there, but as soon as we get that worked out, we'll announce a watch party of something and do something fun with that. That way, anyone who subscribes to us on Ko-fi will be able to watch something with us. So,
right.
I would like to do that. Yep. That would be fun. Maybe we could do a watch party of Steven watches horror flicks too.
Wouldn't that be funny? We pick one, have everybody vote for what they want me to watch, and then
there we go.
We'll all watch it together. And wouldn't that be funny?
That would be cool.
Be funny?
That would be really cool. Maybe we'll try that. So yeah, we're still working the details out on that. I will let you know as soon as we figure that out.
Yeah, it's just this technical difficulties and stuff and all that. So, yeah. So,
we just got a message from Exile House of Meme Lords. Is it spoiler
time yet?
Not yet. We haven't entered it yet, but we will definitely let you know.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for stating that. Exiled House of Meme Lords. I love it. I tell you what, we'll do. We will make sure we do our review. We'll do that here in just a moment, our overall review without spoilers, right, and then let you know when we move into spoilers. If you could let us know how far you are in there, though, that may help us too. How many episodes you are in, so that way we don't spoil anything beyond that. So, look, I'm gonna hang in there long enough to hear how many bat signals out of 10. What do you think? What do you think, Mike? Bat signals?
All right, yeah, bat signals sounds great.
All right, that sounds good.
Actually, I was thinking yesterday what we were going to use for our scale, and yeah, I wasn't sure. So, bat signals, that's fine with me. That sounds good.
Yep. Okay. Well, just before we get into that real quick, I want to follow up. Brenda had asked, we need to be able to see Steven's reactions. Yes. If we do a watch party where we're going to do a horror episode and you want to see my reactions, I'll make sure the video's on to do that. So, yeah. So, all right. Oh, Exiled House, you were only on episode 3.
And there are 10 episodes to Batman Unburied, by the way.
Yeah, 3. So, okay. So I have the episode list up. We'll talk about those. I'll do the overview and all that kind of stuff here shortly.
Sounds good.
All right. I'm so excited for this one. So, real quick, kudos to 3 Geeky Dads who posted. No, Mike, you posted what 3 Geeky Dads had posted saying that the Batman Unburied podcast had surpassed
Joe Rogan.
On Spotify.
Yeah, and Joe Rogan's like the top podcaster, I think, on pretty much all platforms for the most part. To see that Batman Unburied knocked him down a notch, that's saying a lot about this podcast.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
And so Mike and I were like, we've got to listen to this podcast, kind of a thing. And so I started listening to it last week. Like once you had posted that, I thought, you know what, I should listen to that, while I'm working. And I watched, at the time, there were only 6 episodes that were out.
Yeah.
When I started watching it. So I guess it was 2.5 weeks ago. And listened to the first 2 on one day, and I caught up on the other 4 the next day. And then every Tuesday, man, I was on it.
Nice.
I was like, I gotta listen to these and stuff like that.
I binged all the way up to 8, at work and stuff. And then I had to wait for the following week for 9 and 10 to drop, and then listen to those to finish it off. And
then you re-listened to it, right?
I've been on vacation all this week, and we've been doing kind of, just staycation type things.
Nice.
And we did 2 day trips over the last 2 days. We went out to a little town in Casey, Illinois. It's called the Little Town with Big Things, and they have the world's biggest mailbox, the world's biggest rocking chair, and world's biggest pencil, and all kinds of world's biggest stuff. But it's a fun little day trip that we did. It's a few hours to get there, so we listened to Batman Unburied on the way out there, on the way back, and then yesterday we went to Chester, Illinois. For those who don't know, Chester, Illinois is the home of Popeye. And
Popeye and Sailor Man.
I am what I am. Anyway,
I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
My wimpy sounded more like Dracula there, but anyway. But they have statues all over their city. Every year they put up a new statue in dedication, to a character of the Popeye series. And so we try to go once a year and go see the new statue and stuff. And it's a fun little trip, and you just go around their town, looking at different statues. And we usually eat lunch while we're there. We found a nice
I was going to say, we found a new place.
Yeah, we found a new place to eat, and man, it was good. Food was great. I forget what it was called, though. But you
said it was by the latest statue.
Yeah,
the most recent statue put up.
Yeah, the most recent statue as of last year was put up near their restaurant, which I'm sure they were like, "Hey, we need a statue out here because nobody knows where our restaurant is." And it overlooks the Mississippi River. There's a nice view of the river. Our waitress was telling me that the restaurant is haunted. So if you're into that kind of thing,
right on.
Go check it out. It's pretty cool if you're in the Illinois area. So, fun little day.
Maybe we should add that to Steven's Watches Horror podcast. Steven does haunted house tours.
Okay.
I'll come out there and we'll check that out.
All right, cool.
So does that mean you're going to come do the Limp Mansion and stuff?
There you go.
Yeah, wouldn't that be cool?
Oh man,
cool.
You used to live here. You could have done the Limp Mansion back then.
I know. All right. Well, hey everybody, let's get into Batman Unburied. How'd that sound? That sound like how they did it?
Wait a minute.
Now, real quick, everybody.
Hold on.
That was.
I'm gonna make an adjustment and then do it again. All right, go.
What are we doing? We're listening to Batman Unburied.
Oh, I was hoping it would come through my soundboard. So here, let me try it. You are listening to Batman Unburied.
Excuse me.
I'm playing with my soundboard.
Oh, I didn't hear it on my end either. I just heard you talking.
Oh, well, you'll hear it in the podcast.
Oh, sweet. All right. I love it. Okay. All right. So, okay, everybody, here is the synopsis for Batman Unburied, and then we'll give our out of bat signals rating and stuff. A serial killer known as the Harvester terrorizes Gotham City, but Batman is not coming to the rescue. In fact, Bruce Wayne has no memory of being the Caped Crusader at all. Instead, Bruce is a forensic pathologist performing the autopsy on the latest victim when he's attacked by the killer himself. As Bruce's obsession with the Harvester consumes him, Dr. Thomas Wayne, head of Gotham City Hospital, orders his son to take medical leave and seek treatment from an unusual psychologist, Dr. Hunter. With Batman missing in action, Detective Barbara Gordon is left with no other choice but to seek help from the Gotham's second smartest detective, the Riddler. Batman Unburied is created by David S. Goyer and stars Winston Duke, Hassan Minhaj, and Gino Rodriguez. Batman Unburied was produced by Phantom 4 and Wolf at the Door in association with Blue Ribbon Content and DC for Spotify.
And they say that
Tuesday.
They say that at the end of every episode, by the way.
Every episode, and they go through the whole list. Yeah, you're like, oh, we've hit the end. I can skip this. So now, I would say I listened to it because there are some notable voice actors on there too.
Definitely. Well, now let's start with Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne Batman. That is Winston Duke, and Winston Duke played. He was in Black Panther.
Yes.
What was the name of the character he played?
I don't remember, but he was the leader of the clan that lived up in the mountains. That was away from everybody else.
M'Baku.
Derek was on it.
And he is going to reprise his role in Wakanda Forever, by the way.
Oh, the new Black Panther movie.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. So
that'll be good. It'll be interesting to see how they do that. Derek, a.k.a. Man Gorilla.
Man Gorilla? Okay.
It was good. So all right, let's get into this. I want to talk about that. So we'll talk about the voice actors. But first off, Mike, what is your rating? Tell me your general overview about the series and your rating after that.
Okay. First of all, I am a very heavy advocate for audio plays. I like audio plays a lot. In particular, Big Finish Audio, who does all the Doctor Who stuff, and in my opinion, they have the greatest audio plays in the world. Yes, music, sound effects, the acting. It's almost like watching a Doctor Who episode with your eyes closed. Is what it feels like to listen. Now, with that being said, I have high expectations when somebody tells me that an American production, audio production, is going to be so good. Okay, because first thing the first thing I compare it to, if you don't compare it to Big Finish Audio, then you're no good. Okay.
Okay.
So
all right. Okay.
I listen
so you have
to
a
this.
set standard.
Oh yes.
For what audio dramas should sound like.
It is extremely high. Okay. I gotta say, Batman Unburied, it hits that. It hits that.
Oh, nice.
The production of this is beautiful. Again, this sounds almost like you're watching a TV
and it did
TV series with your eyes closed. I mean, just the sound effects are great. The actors were great.
Oh gosh, I got to talk about that in the first episode. Yes, go ahead.
The music was just okay. It wasn't, it wasn't fabulous, but it worked. It worked just fine for the series.
Okay.
But I cannot give this much higher praise. I would give it out of 10 bat signals. I would give it 9 bat signals.
9 out of 10. Okay.
Yes. I highly recommend this series. If you are a Batman fan, if you enjoy Batman, listen to this series. It is super good. And it is only available on Spotify. It is exclusive to Spotify, but you do not have to be a member of Spotify to get it. You can listen to it. There are ads. You will hear an ad in each episode for Cheetos.
Yep. Maybe twice in each one.
Right, yeah. Actually, there was one episode I don't think I heard a Cheetos ad in, which I was shocked. I was like, well, where's the ad? Normally there's an ad here, But pretty much every episode has at least one ad, if not 2 ads. But
okay.
And they're short, and you can actually skip through them. So just go buy a bag of Cheetos, and then,
right.
You're good.
I'm eating my Cheetos while listening to Batman Unburied. I did like how... Oh, no, finish your thing. Sorry, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just saying that I have a high bar, and this thing, it reaches that bar. It really does.
Nice.
And to say that, they knocked Joe Rogan out of the #1 spot for podcast, that intrigued me alone. I'm like, okay, if this is that good, I got to hear it. So, I highly, highly recommend this. Excellent.
Yeah, it was good. Okay, so I thought the sound effects were incredible. I thought they were fabulous. There was in the first episode, there was you heard some violence kind of going on, some and you heard the squishies of the body, the guy removing body parts and stuff, like that's so the sound effects are really good. The music, I'll agree with you, the music could have been the music was okay. It wasn't bad. Yeah. Wasn't cheesy. See what I did there? Cheetos, cheesy. Oh, sorry.
Nice.
So, wasn't good. I thought the voice acting was incredible, except for one thing. And I don't want to say anything else because Meme Lords is in here, so I don't want to go into that. I'll go into that later.
I had one issue with the voice acting.
I did too.
But
I don't want
and I don't want to take anything away from any of the actors, but I would have preferred somebody else to play Batman. I'm a little biased, but well, I really would love to have had Kevin Conroy voice Batman in this.
I'm
sorry, and nothing against
Winston Duke.
Yeah, nothing against Winston. Actually, he did a great job. He really did.
I thought he was fabulous as Bruce Wayne.
Right. I don't want to. Yeah. We'll get into that. I don't want to take anything away from him as an actor, as a voice actor. He did a fabulous job. He really did.
Really did.
But I'm biased towards Kevin Conroy.
You like Kevin Conroy? Now, that's okay. That's okay. But I still thought he did a nice job.
Oh, I agree.
I don't think he was Kevin Conroy.
No.
Batman level, but I do think he did a really nice job, and I think everybody did. I know one of the voice actresses or actors. I don't know, how do you say that to be anyway?
Just say actor.
She was in voice actor. She was in the video game Horizon Zero Dawn. She was in there. They got. There was I had them all up and for some reason I looked them up, but there were some other actors in there. Lance Reddick. I loved how at the beginning of every single one, you were listening to, this is Lance Reddick, the actor who's been in several things. You recognize his voice. He was like, you were listening to Batman Unburied. Listener discretion is advised, kind of a thing.
He does have a great voice. He really does.
He does have a great voice. Lance Reddick played
Thomas Wayne.
Yep. And just did a great job with it too. So I enjoyed it. I thought the production value was great, and I'm having some connection difficulties. It says, hopefully I haven't lost me.
Yeah, I've got that message all morning. So.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm giving it 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
It was really good. I really enjoyed it. It is worth listening. If you have the opportunity to listen to it on Spotify, I'd say it's worth the listen. It's worth the time. Definitely. It's probably approximately 5 hours total.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. Derek says the chemistry between Babs and Riddler was the best.
Yes,
I agree. It was fabulous. It was great. Great interaction on that as well. So, all right. Well, with that, we gave our initial reviews 9 out of 10 and 8.5 out of 10. And I'll tell you why I didn't go to 9 later. But we are going to head into spoilerific territory here. So I will kind of walk through a little bit about each. Oh, yeah, there it is. There's our spoilerific warning. Spoilers ahead. Here we go. We'll kind of walk through a little bit here and there about kind of what the episodes are about. We're not going to take each one by one because I can't remember which one was in which one, but probably talk over our favorite moments and stuff like that. So Exiled House says, awesome. Thanks, guys. I'm going to catch up and listen to this when it's in pod form. Have a great weekend. You too.
Thank you, Exiled House of Memes.
Thanks for popping in, and make sure you also post or let us know what you think about the whole podcast once you get through it. So
please.
It's well worth the listen. Okay. All right, spoilerifics. Mike, how would you like to handle it? You want to talk about your top moments, things that you liked, kind of a thing going through this, or what is your favorite way to walk through this?
I don't know. We've never done a podcast before, and
right,
and technically, I don't know if we could really call. I mean, it's put out in a podcast format, but it's really an audio play is what it is. It's not so much a podcast, but an audio play.
There you go.
I really
well stated.
I really enjoy. Like Derek said, I really enjoyed the interaction between Barbara Gordon and the Riddler. I thought that was great. I loved how they included several different characters from the Batman mythos.
Yes,
how we went into Arkham. We met Calendar Man. We met Calendar Man, Mad Hatter, King Tut.
Tut, that's right, was in there.
Wow, that blew me away because I don't believe. I mean, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe King Tut was actually a villain in the comic books. I only remember him from the television series. I don't remember him being in comic books. So I thought that was pretty interesting that they brought in that character, and he actually played a fairly important role.
It did. It was really
in
good
the story.
too.
So I liked that. I thought it was a good choice not including the Joker for the. I'm assuming this is the first of more to come. I'm assuming there's going to be more stories. I mean, if you top Joe Rogan, you're going to do more stories, right?
Another set, yep,
right.
Mm-hmm.
You have to.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep. I thought it was a good choice not to include the Joker for the first one. Mm-hmm. I do want to hear the Joker, though. I know the Joker gets overdone, but I like the Joker. So
King Tut was created for the television series.
For the 66 Batman television series.
Okay.
Well, I knew that he was created for the television series. I just didn't know if he ever made a crossover into the comic books, and I still don't think he did. As far as I know,
it was still good. It was still well done.
No, I liked it. I thought it was
Mm-hmm.
interesting the role that he played.
Right.
And his character wasn't quite as silly as it is in the which most
he did in 2009.
He did.
Yes.
Interesting.
I can't say the word. Of an iteration, we'll say, of King Tut made his DC Comics universe debut in Batman Confidential number 26 in April 2009.
Okay. All right.
Okay, cool.
So he has made an appearance in the comic books. Okay. I did not know that. Interesting. But I thought his role was very interesting in this series. And the Riddler is fantastic. He really was.
Oh, it was really good. I have to say he's probably one of my favorites.
Me too.
I will say that.
So, I was super confused at the beginning, though.
Yes, thanks for bringing that up. So was I. First I was like, maybe this is an Elseworlds kind of story.
Right.
Right. And I'm like, I'm down with that. I'm down with that. This is not multiverse. Elseworld stories are fine. I can deal with that. Well, and the reason I say that, everybody, if you haven't listened to it, and spoilers don't bother you, you're still listening in. Thanks for listening in. We all of a sudden, what's really cool is he's a forensic pathologist. Bruce Wayne is, in a morgue, cutting open bodies. And we'll get to that in a second. But then all of a sudden you hear Dr. Thomas Wayne. And I'm like, whoa, time out. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
I don't think I've ever seen a story where Bruce is some kind of doctor in any way, shape, where Bruce is. Now, where Thomas, that's different. Thomas has been portrayed as a doctor in most iterations of him. So it's no surprise when they say Dr. Thomas Wayne. But when they say Dr. Bruce Wayne, that kind of blows my mind. It's like, well, wait a minute. Bruce isn't a doctor. What the heck happened here? So I was thoroughly confused at the beginning of this. I'm like, what is going on? Bruce is a forensic pathologist. And which is a fancy term for a
well, he was using his skills as a mortician, or not really a mortician, but a
coroner.
Coroner, yeah, that's the word, coroner. Yes,
which he also says he's not a coroner in this, but he's kind of doing the job of a coroner, though. So I don't know.
Well, when they had the assistant come in and talk with him, here he is. Oh, I hear you have an interesting way with the bodies or something. And he is always talking. This was so weird. Here's Bruce Wayne trying to put himself in the perspective of the dead person, and he's talking and asking questions. It was kind of weird at first. I was like, ooh,
because he's more or less role playing as the dead. Is what he's doing. Yeah. which it's a little strange.
Once I figured out, it's like, okay, he's kind of brainstorming what could be going on to help him come up with other questions to ask, and it was a detective deducing kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, I like that.
Which is a very Batman thing to do, actually.
Yes, well stated. Yes. And Derek goes, yes, the beginning is definitely confusing. Yes, it is. And that's why I didn't want to ruin anything for exiled meme lords, because I was like, ooh, it was because you find out later, that it's something else is going on. Derek says, we hardly ever get a good detective story with Batman, despite him being the world's greatest detective. So it's nice to see.
Well, now,
yes.
I agree with you, Derek, to a certain extent. I mean, yes, that's true as far as television or movie medium, but comic book medium, there's been tons of detective stories where which are very good. So
it was nice to hear an audio play, an audio drama, take that detective route, and I welcomed it, actually. And this
is just, it's fantastic. It is so good.
Yeah. So we forgot one important person who was
I wanted to bring that up. So the Harvester, if you are a Star Wars fan, the Harvester's voice is going to be very familiar to you, because it's none other than Darth Maul himself, Sam Witwer. Sam has done so much stuff over the years. Right. The first place I knew Sam from was, of course, the video game Force Unleashed.
Yep.
Where he plays...
It's his image and everything, too.
Yeah, it sure is. He plays Starkiller, in the Force Unleashed and the Force Unleashed 2, which are great video games, by the way.
They are great games.
Granted, I'm not much of a gamer today, but, man, I played those games like crazy. I love those games. Sam voiced that character in that game. He's done other games, too, I know. But you also might recognize him from Smallville. He was actually Doomsday, which was pretty cool. Yep. He played.
I didn't know that.
He played Doomsday in Smallville. And then he's also been in Supergirl. I don't remember the character's name he was in Supergirl. But Star Wars fans know him most as Darth Maul, the voice of Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Now, with that said, I love Sam Witwer, and I like this character. This character was really good.
The Harvester character.
And Sam... What?
He was Ben Lockwood / Agent Liberty / Brainiac 5.
That's right. He was Brainiac 5?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't remember that, but okay. Yep. Yeah, that's who he was in Supergirl.
He was in 23 episodes.
Dang. Holy cow.
Well, I mean, when you play 3 characters.
Well, true. Yeah.
Right.
Sam's done a lot of work. A lot of work. And he's a huge Star Wars fan, and man, he knows Star Wars backwards and forwards. The guy is just amazing. As far as his Star Wars knowledge goes, it's incredible. But anyway, where was I at?
Sam Witwer.
Right.
We were talking about the Harvester was a great character.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the Harvester, and he did such a good job as the Harvester. I can't think of what the Harvester's real name was. But anyway, he did a fantastic job. But man, I kind of would have liked to seen him in a more regular Batman villain role, not something new to this. Even as good as he did it at this, I don't know. Maybe give him a shot as the Joker.
I see what you mean. Okay, yeah. So, because you would like to hear him come back for another.
Heck yeah.
He's such a great voice actor. Kenobi. Sorry.
That's not to say that Sam couldn't return as somebody else, because I'm sure, he can.
He's the voice talent to do it.
No, you ain't kidding. He's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. So with the Harvester at the beginning, we get him attacking someone and then talking and then getting the sound effects were just squish, squish. Even what Bruce Wayne is doing as the forensic pathologist when he's sitting there
and he's describing what he's doing.
describing, and then you hear the sound effects of what he's doing. Like
I'm cracking the rib cage, and you hear the cracks. Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the sound effects are really good. How shall I say? The first several episodes was confusing because I'm like, what in the world's going on? Because he's Batman. Wait, he's not Batman.
Well, in the
Wayne
first two
alive?
episodes, he's not Batman at all.
Well, no, he's not. Sorry, excuse me. There is no Batman.
Right. In the first two episodes, there is no Batman. It's all as if the Batman doesn't even exist. But you start getting clues throughout the episode that something is not quite right.
Mm-hmm.
And just about every time there's a clue, you hear bats. So
right.
That's something to listen for.
Oh, I'll have to listen to that.
Yeah,
okay.
You'll hear bats. And
okay.
Every time he questions something, you will hear bats. So that was something I liked.
The thing with Dr. Hunter in the beginning, Dr. Hunter, he's talking to this guy and he's doing EMDR, which, I've been familiar with. It's the whole light therapy thing. And I thought, oh, this is kind of interesting. This is actual therapy kind of stuff in the real world, and having them walk through and talk about stuff. And it's like, all of a sudden you get the sprinkling of, wait a minute, my parents should be dead or something, you're like, wait, what's going on here? This is confusing. What's happening? And I get it. It's creating a story and developing the story and stuff like that. But only to find out that Dr. Hunter was actually, in fact,
Hugo Strange.
Yeah.
Which, I should have known it right off the bat. I should have known this was a Hugo Strange thing.
Well, here's my thing. I love the John Rhys Davies. And many people may remember him as Sala from the Indiana Jones films. Some people may know if you watch the he was the king in the Shannara Chronicles TV show in the first season. I didn't watch the second season, so I don't know if he was in that or not. He was Gimli in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, wow.
So here's this caliber of character. I'm like, oh, he's just playing a doctor. Well, that's interesting, because then I thought, because he's high caliber. And then when it was revealed he was Hugo Strange, I was like, oh, exactly. I should have known.
He's definitely high caliber.
yeah, right? So I thought it was good. I was surprised they killed him off.
I was too. I didn't expect that to happen. Because Hugo Strange is a pretty important villain to Batman. So, but you don't know how many of these they plan on doing, and so. Right. It was interesting. What did you think? One of the things I didn't like. There's two things I really didn't like about the series. Number one was they introduced a villain later on in the series that I was like, I like it when you have details sprinkled all through the whole series. But what was different here is like all of a sudden, oh, we're going to pop in this villain who's been behind it all, kind of a thing, which was good. It was voiced great. It acted well. I was just like, oh, now you're bringing, it's almost like a last ditch. There's no way to figure out that this person could have been involved from the very beginning. There weren't any. Oh
clues.
No, you're right. There was no clues to
reference this individual.
Right. If
there were, it would have been masterful. You know what I'm saying? If they had put in clues at the very beginning that, Poison Ivy was in it. And what I really, so that's a minor thing. That's not that big of a deal. That's just a preference of having, if they had pieces possibly thinking that she was involved, but they didn't bring that up till later. But I loved how they gave her an origin story for her.
I was just going to say, is that her actual origin?
I'm going to
it.
He pulled out his DK book, everybody. Here he goes.
Yeah, keep talking.
Because that's a very tragic and yeah.
Yeah.
I loved the
I loved
origin
it.
they gave her. I thought it was great.
Oh, I loved it.
Go ahead, Megan. Go ahead. Keep talking about it.
I was just gonna say I loved it. It was very dark, and it's almost nicer when villains have really dark backstories because it gives it makes sense.
Sure. So it humanized Poison Ivy because you begin to realize how she came to be, and that does make a great villain arc. I think it's different than trying to sympathize with a villain, like we've talked about, like with Maleficent or Cruella that Disney's been kind of doing. They want you to feel sorry for him.
I will still fight on Cruella.
Say that again, Megan.
I will still fight on Cruella. That is not a. They're not trying to get you to sympathize with her.
She's kind of right, but that's not this episode.
No, okay, we'll get into that. But it made her a good villain. It gave you understanding why she's a villain, which you could understand, but she still stayed. She was a good villain in this story.
So I have her looked up in the DC Comics Encyclopedia.
Yes.
It says Pamela Isley grew up in an abusive home. Her mother enjoyed growing plants and an activity Pamela became fond of. However, Pamela's father would routinely beat her mother before buying her flowers as an apology, and she would take him back. Eventually, Pamela's father killed her mother, burying her in the garden. He was later taken into police custody, leaving Pamela alone. In college, Pamela's interest in chemistry grew. She illegally developed pheromone pills, landing herself on an academic probation. Using her pills and her natural charm, Isley seduced the dean into dropping all charges. Her next target was her father, whom Pamela visited in jail. Before leaving, she kissed him on the lips while wearing a toxic lipstick. He was found dead shortly after. Pamela went on to intern for Wayne Industries, where she began to perfect her pheromone technology. During a struggle in the lab, she was splashed with chemicals which granted her plant-controlling abilities. She soon embarked on a criminal career, believing it her destiny to create a plant-based utopia while also destroying the world of man. So, I mean, they took aspects of that origin. It is similar, but it's not the same. Even her power set's a little different in this.
Yes, yeah. I think the aspect of where her dad was the one who was doing growing plants, poisonous plants in one part of the greenhouse.
Right. He was trying to create human weapons is what he was doing. Mm-hmm. And then when she goes in and she accidentally touches one of the plants and becomes infected by it, but doesn't die, which he's fascinated by. Her father has a morbid fascination in this.
Brenda, you should post that. Everybody, Brenda says, so a radioactive Venus flytrap bit her.
I guess something like that.
That's right. Or it's kind of like Flash, the TV show, where he gets splashed by a whole bunch of chemicals and lightning and stuff, and that does it. That's kind of funny.
Which, by the way, they recreate that in Flashpoint because he's trying to get his powers back.
That's right.
And then in the new Flashpoint, Batman is forcing him to recreate it. Sorry. Which is awesome.
That's funny.
Anyway, sorry.
So her dad notices she doesn't die. He's intrigued, and then he starts dosing her, doesn't he?
Yes. He's turning her into a human weapon is exactly what he's doing. He is an eco-terrorist, which is what she becomes, an eco-terrorist.
Yeah.
I love the origin in this. I think the origin is great.
Me too.
I don't have a problem diverging from the origin slightly, and that's exactly what they did in here. They just tweaked the origin a little bit better.
Yeah, and
I mean, not better, but to better suit the story that they were trying to tell here.
I thought it was much more betterer for the story.
All right. Yes, I agree.
We're taking our drinks, everybody, because I said the phrase.
But see, they didn't divert from it too far. They didn't change the character really. They just diverted enough to fit the story and tell a good story, which I think is fine. I have no issue with it.
Yep. Okay. Can I change gears and talk about the one thing I really didn't like?
Okay, go for it. I'm dying to hear this.
Batman's voice.
Yeah, I wasn't too keen on it either.
When he started doing the Batman voice, so everybody, what happens is you find out that Bruce Wayne was under medication. He was being programmed, kind of a thing, or trying to get in. It was a fancy way to try to get in his codes to his safe.
Right.
It was good. It was a great storyline how Pamela Isley was behind it all to try to work with Hugo Strange to try to do this chemical therapy technique to get into Bruce Wayne's mind so they could get access to Bruce Wayne's vaults.
So that they could get the tree that Bruce Wayne had transplanted from Palestine to Gotham City, which during Pamela's story, she touches that tree, which she thinks is going to change her power set and also, I guess, basically reset the world.
Right.
I didn't quite totally.
It was kind of like if you've seen Avatar, the first Avatar movie. Well, that's the only Avatar movie out. At the very end.
Oh, I'm sorry. Fell asleep there.
There's this whole concept that the whole planet was connected together.
That ride is amazing. The movie sucks. The ride is amazing.
It's so funny.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The world in Disney is amazing.
Oh yeah, I love it. Just the movie sucks.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Well, the funny thing is in Avatar, it talks about all the plants and stuff were connected. The tree, and they had what they called the tree of life in that where everything was connected. There was root systems were all connected all around the planet. And I thought that's what they were going with in this story, in the Batman Unburied story, was that tree was kind of like a tree of life where everything was all connected. It was super old tree or whatever.
Well, I guess in a way they were, because they did actually refer to it as a tree of life.
Yeah.
They talk about religion and
which is cool because you didn't get that till the last couple of episodes.
Oh no. Yeah, exactly.
And so so I thought it was good. Pamela Isley was involved in that. So that was where you find out. So I'm going backwards now. I'm trying to come full circle where he was under a spell, or not under a spell, but they had used this kind of therapy to get into his mind. And then he breaks free of it. These guys were going to kill him. These two henchmen were going to kill him, which that was funny. It's like bundling oaths, kind of a thing. And,
sure.
And the sound effects were great. Then Barbara Gordon finds him finally, kind of a thing. And then he puts on the Batman voice.
Okay.
And
now
it was at that point that the production went, this is why I don't give it, I don't give it a 9 or 9.5. It's like, because every time it did the Batman voice, it was like, oh man, this is so weird.
This is why Kevin Conroy should have voiced Batman, because his Batman voice is the Batman. If I read Batman, I hear Kevin Conroy in my head. And I needed him in this. So Now, don't get me wrong. I love the Dark Knight trilogy. It's still tops in my opinion for Batman movies. I don't care what
hockey pants. I'm not wearing hockey pants.
I don't care what the three geeky dads say. Dark Knight is still one of the best Batman movies ever. So, anyway. And 89 Batman is still the best Batman movie ever. But I do digress. The one thing I do not care for in the Batman the Dark Knight trilogy is Christian Bale's voice as Batman, because it's just forced and bad. I'm Batman! And I hate to say it, but he sounded a lot like that Batman. He really did.
He really did. It was kind of like that's what he was going for. And I was like,
He needed to listen to Kevin Conroy. That's what he needed to listen to.
Yeah. Yeah. His was just deeper, not grovelly. And maybe that's what it was. Conroy's was a deeper, more gravitas. I love using that word because I don't know really what it all means. Wait a minute. But I'm Batman, kind of a thing. Where I think where Winston Duke, which he acted it great. Don't get me wrong. The how shall I say it? It was I'm Batman, trying to, I don't know. It was off. It sounded quirky. It was just weird. His regular voice, his Bruce Wayne voice, was better than the Batman voice.
Here, I have an example of Kevin Conroy. You ready?
Okay, go.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
That's Batman.
Yes. Is that from the cameo?
Yes, it is.
I thought I recognized that.
I pulled
awesome.
it from the cameo.
Yeah. That was great. Yes, he just does a really good job. I wish I could play a snippet from the Batman Unburied, so you could hear.
Yeah, I didn't have anything ready.
No, that's okay. That's all right. I didn't give you a heads up. Again, we try to save it for the podcast, everybody. So, two friends around the virtual coffee table.
Well, yeah, we don't discuss too much anymore before the podcast because we want to be surprised by each other's reactions to this. Just like,
yes,
I didn't know how you felt about his voice as Batman, and it's funny because we both agree on it.
Oh, funny, Angie. Angie's saying that Facebook limited her comments. That's funny.
Huh. Interesting.
I no. Whoa. Facebook censorship.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. So I'll say this. It was really good. It's just for whatever reason, I just didn't connect with his voice. Maybe some of you out there enjoyed the way he did his voice, and that's okay.
Well, no, everybody has their opinions of things, and
right.
That's just the one critique I have of this.
So you didn't like it. So you didn't like it either.
I cringed.
Besides the Kevin Conroy factor,
I cringed a little bit when I heard it. I was like, oh, he's doing the Christian Bale thing.
Yeah.
He's trying to be Christian Bale, and I don't think he should try to be Christian Bale. If nothing else, he should have just tried his own thing, which I might have enjoyed more. So, Derek says it's okay.
Better than Bale.
I don't know if it was better than Bale. I don't know. I put it about the same as Bale's. Honestly, it really sounded like he was trying to imitate Bale's version of it. That's the way it came across to me, anyway.
You know who it reminded me of was you sent me a long time ago on YouTube this whole Batman. Oh gosh, what was it called? But it was a whole series with Batman. There was a famous actor that was in it. Who had a part in it? Not famous actor. I shouldn't say it that way. But
is that the Batman and Superman thing?
No, it was the one where it was all these little shorts. It was from College Humor. College Humor's Batman.
It's not bad. Not Bad Dad, is it?
No, it wasn't Bat Dad. I forgot what
Bad
they called
Dad
it.
is hilarious.
I don't know. It was the one where it's like, but his voice sounded similar to what Winston Duke did, kind of a thing. And and it was, what's the actor's name? He was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's been in a lot of stuff. You'd recognize him. His wife was the murder mystery podcaster who passed away, who had a lot to do with the whole aspect of doing genetic DNA, familial searches and stuff and all that. But
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Patton Oswalt.
Oh, okay.
He was in it. And so this whole Batman thing, the College Humor Batman, it reminded me of that voice. Gosh, I can't remember now. It's going to kill me. I got to look it up here. I'll look it up. You talk and I'll look it up.
Well, now I would not say just because of our opinion of his voice that takes this, makes this bad or anything. It doesn't at all. It's just, you got to kind of adjust for it, brace for it. That's all I'm saying. When the voice shows up, just be braced and ready for it. But definitely, this is a great series, regardless of what his Batman voice sounds like.
Yeah, if you do a thing, it would be College Humor and Front Page Films. It's on College Humor, and it's that Batman.
Okay.
Batman meets Two-Face. Batman Disturbs the Penguin. That's the one with Patton Oswalt. That's the one. So if you go to the College Humor, that guy's voice. Here, let me see if I can pop it up here real quick. Let's see.
Remember this now.
I'll just do a sampling.
There was one that's titled like Batman Chooses His Voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's College Humor, Front Page Humor. It's Bad Man. They call it Bad Man.
Okay.
And
never get out of here alive, Cobblepot. Be quiet and wait your turn.
So that's Patton Oswalt as the Penguin.
Hand me, Batman. You know you want to. I'll kill. He's not like you, Cobblepot. Your stupid rule will be your downfall. You know that, right, Batman? I'm not a coward who hides behind a gun. I would never take the life of another, for I am... Batman, look out! The Dark Knight, the last remaining beacon of morality in the shadows of this town. Wait, what was that?
That's the one where he kills him, but he's like, no, he's just sleeping.
Yeah, that's right. I do remember this now. Oh my gosh, no, he's just sleeping.
Right.
Oh, that's hearing Patton Oswalt there, man, they should get him for this. I think he would work really well as the Penguin in this.
I think he would too. So that's if you get a chance to see that, everybody, it is so funny. There's all kinds of different episodes that they have. It's on just do College Humor Batman, and it will pop up and stuff. But
nice. But
that voice that you heard is better. But it reminded me of that voice when Winston Duke did the Batman voice, and I just
the part where you just said he's not dead, he's sleeping. That's still playing in my head now.
All right, wait. Okay, wait. Let's see if we can get to it so everybody can hear it.
What? You just said you don't kill. Yeah, I know. It's like my one rule.
Yeah, Batman. Why don't you look at the guy that
he's got a
sleep.
No, wait, what?
Oh, I see what's happening. You guys don't know this, but when criminals fight me, it's exhausting because I'm good. So they often have to nap afterwards. Wait, you can't be this. You think they're sleeping? Look at that poor little guy. He's all tuckered out. Oh my God! Do you not know what death is? I totally know what it is. Don't be stupid. Let's back it up a little bit to talking about what a hero I am.
Batman, you have to know what death. I mean, your parents were shot and killed.
My parents were shot. Yes, but they're alive. On a special farm.
Oh boy, they were on a farm.
They're on a special happy farm where they make buttermilk. They romp and play There's a hammock made of dreams.
Wow. I can't even.
There might be emails.
All right, I
Okay.
over there.
Oh my
those of us
gosh.
pretty good.
That's
So,
hilarious.
Yeah, there's a batarang sticking out of this guy's face, and they're like, "Wait, he's dead." No, he's just resting. He's still tuckered out.
Poor little guy.
Oh gosh.
Kind of reminds me of Lego Batman's voice.
Lego Batman is done really well. That's with what's his name? Because he even hosted the Lego Masters show, and all, which was really good.
Oh yeah, I can't think of his name. Because he plays Lego Batman.
IMDb is being mean and won't load.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I love the Lego Batman. He's fantastic.
Yeah,
but I mean, he's fun because he's supposed to be
Will Arnett. That's what it just came to me. Will
there
Arnett.
we go, and Angie just
Angie
popped it
Thank
up
you.
too. Yeah, I mean, he's supposed to be.
Got it too.
He's supposed to be everybody but us. I never watched Arrested Development. I don't know anything about that.
Angie posted in the private chat from Arrested Development, and I never saw it. So
yeah,
I need to rewatch the Lego Batman movie.
Oh, Lego Batman movie's hilarious.
Michael Cera is Robin.
Yeah, I don't remember.
That's Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care for Scott Pilgrim, so
I love Scott Pilgrim. Love Scott Pilgrim.
I know you guys do.
That's for another podcast.
Yeah, that's definitely for another podcast. That's one I take a break on.
And I would say that was the one thing. That was really the one thing that really dropped this down for me personally, because it was the voice of Batman. I was like, ooh. And when you said you cringed when you heard it, I was like, yeah, I think I did too, because I was like, ooh, that's Other than that, the storytelling was great. The voice acting, 99% of it, was great. The music was fine. I agree with you that I think it could have been a little bit more of a character in the story.
Yes.
You know how I guess I'm maybe spoiled by John Williams, who's just a genius,
right?
And how
well, now we even talked about Kenobi. In Kenobi, the music seems to have taken a back seat compared to what it normally does, and we were slightly disappointed by that. Not to say that Kenobi's bad. It's not bad at all. But as far as the music wise goes, it's not your typical Star Wars. It doesn't feel the same as far as that. And I kind of got that with this. I mean, this is our first one of this, but I would have liked it if the music was a little more prevalent and a little less generic. It's pretty generic. But other than that, the production value of this is fantastic.
Now, what did you think about the very, very end? So all of a sudden, then we hear Pamela Isley had a girlfriend who was there with her in Palestine. Yeah. They saw what happened to her and what she had done and blah, 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 and kind of stayed away from her, only to find out that girlfriend had been working for Bruce Wayne, not far from there.
Right.
But then Pamela Isley, I guess you think that she dies,
She isn't dead.
She's not dead.
There's
no. But then she visits her girlfriend at the very, very end. And kind of stops there, kind of a thing.
Right.
What'd you think about that?
Well, I mean, now, didn't they mention her becoming one with the green?
I think so.
Okay. Now, I find that interesting because the green is normally how they refer to as Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing is usually referred to as the green. Or at least he refers to everything as the green, everything around him, and him joining the green. So I found it interesting that they talked about her joining the green And I kind of wondered if there's going to be a second part, or a second story where she comes back with Swamp Thing.
Brenda says, and the green is one with her. My brain went to the Star Wars scene in Rogue One.
I am one with the Force.
I am one with the Force. I am one with the green. The green is with me.
Nice.
Oh, gosh.
That was good. I like it.
Thank you, Brenda. That was good.
That was good. I like that.
Oh, so yeah. Maybe this is the point where within this universe, it's where Pamela Isley becomes where she can control plants. Like she's progressed now to that point. Because I didn't see her as one controlling plants in this one, as much as one who was.
Yeah, but if she's becoming one with the green, which
now she's able to.
Right now, she could do that. Which is Swamp Thing does the same thing. He can control the plants around him and such. So I don't know.
Ooh, what a showdown that would be! Swamp Thing and
Poison
Ivy.
They've teamed them up before in other things. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it makes sense to have the two plant-based villains.
Sure. Right. That's true. Yeah.
Brenda said she did talk to them and they talked to her. So yeah.
Yep. Which, I mean, that's been consistent through. Yeah, she talked to them, but she didn't control them. But
right.
Yeah, I think becoming one with the green, though, I think that is a statement there that puts her more in control of the plant life around her and such, which makes her a little closer to what we've seen in comic book versions of her, or for that matter, even movie versions of her too. Although I'm not going to refer to that one. No. The Batman movie we do not refer to.
Yep. Well, it's almost been an hour. We've been talking about this for an hour. So, any last thoughts or anything that you want to talk about that we didn't get a chance to?
My only thing is, well, I mean, we talked about our dislikes, his Batman voice, and a little bit of music lacking, and it being a little generic as far as the music goes. Other than that, I think this is fantastic. It has great production value. The acting is superb in it. The story was very well done. It does, you start listening to this thing, you're going to be confused in the beginning. I mean, well, if you've listened to us for the last hour, you're not going to be so confused. But I mean, the beginning is a little confusing, but I like the way the story unfolds over the 10 episodes. I think it was done very well. So yeah, I stick with my score of a 9 on this. I think it's very, very good. Done a great job. Now, going forward, I hope they do more of these. I would like this to become an ongoing series. And going forward, I would like the Riddler to come back again at some point and be the main villain in it. I think that would be a fun adventure if we get him back. At some point, I would love to get a Joker. Not saying it has to be in the next story, but sometime down the road, I'd like to get a Joker. And I want a Scarecrow. Scarecrow would be fantastic. Yeah. Scarecrow is one of my favorite Batman villains, and I think he would be great in this series, putting Batman in nightmare scenarios and everything with the whole, just audio.
Sound effects.
Right. I think it would be fantastic. And yes, definitely at some point we have to have Catwoman. My wife's favorite Batman villain is Catwoman. And yes, at some point we do have to have Catwoman. So it'd be interesting to see their casting on Catwoman too. That would be fun. So those are my thoughts.
I agree. Sorry, my dogs are barking, so I muted myself there for a second.
Sorry. It's all good.
Very cool. Very good. So, well, I enjoyed it. I thought overall it was well worth listening to it. And I'm glad it's on Spotify because would I go back and listen to it again? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. Because now I want to go back to what you said, to listen for like the little bat, hearing the bats every time we question something. I gotta listen to it again with that in mind.
Well, you hear the bats, you hear the pearls break. You know.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. And that's when he's starting to come to and realize what in the world's going on.
Yep.
Because the pearls break and he starts to get the memory of his parents being shot. And that's when that's when he really starts to question what is going on here. This isn't real, you know? So yeah, there's some fun little Easter eggs. Oh, speaking of Easter eggs, I forgot to mention, I'd like to say this before we close out. So in the story, they use the character of the Gray Ghost, in opposed to Zorro. In traditional Batman stories, Thomas and Martha take Bruce to see either a movie of Zorro or a play of Zorro or whatever. And that's what they're seeing when they come out of the theater, and that's when, you know, they get mugged and so on and so forth. So in this, they chose not to use Zorro. They used an original character, the Gray Ghost. The Gray Ghost was used in the Batman animated series. And the fantastic thing was it was voiced by none other than Batman himself, Adam West, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
it was great.
I'm pretty sure they just ripped that right from the animated series because in the last episode, you actually hear the Gray Ghost. See, it's mentioned throughout the series, and you hear like the music from the Gray Ghost and everything, but you don't hear the Gray Ghost himself. In the last episode, you hear the Gray Ghost, and he even talks to Batman, which was awesome. You might say it was meta, right, Derek, if you're listening still? So seeing how Adam West passed away a few years ago, I'm pretty sure they just ripped that from that. And also, I believe the radio announcer, the DJ, we hear it towards the beginning of the series where she's talking about the murders and everything, and she's taking phone calls and stuff. I believe she was also a character in the animated series as that radio announcer too, if I remember correctly. So nice little Easter eggs to the Batman animated series.
Yep. No, I forgot about that. That's a good one. Yeah. When you heard Adam West's voice, you were like, "Oh, it's Adam West."
One more reason they should have got Kevin Conroy to play Batman. Just saying.
Just saying. It's all right. Well, hey, thanks, Mike, for a great discussion. I appreciate it. I enjoyed this. Thanks so much for posting on our Facebook page. That was good. I would not have known if you had not posted. And so I quite enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed the series. So thank you.
Well, I want to thank Derek and the Three Geeky Dads because really I didn't know about this until they on the episode we were with them, and they did their what's making your geek flag fly, and that was Derek's entry. He said Batman Unburied. That I don't know if he had gotten to listen to it or he's just excited about the announcement of it. One of the two, but regardless, that was the first time I had heard about this, but it wasn't until I had heard the announcement that it knocked Joe Rogan out of the #1 spot. Then I was like, okay, you got my attention now.
Right. Yep.
So.
Yep. It was good. It was good as well. Worth the listen. So listen, everybody, if you get a chance to listen to it. It is for adults. It is adultish due to the content, and the language and all that kind of stuff. But, Nothing like you don't hear on Joe Rogan. Just kidding. All right. Well, with that, everybody, thank you so much for joining us on Two Geeks and a Microphone. If you want to check us out on our main hub for everything Two Geeks is on our website, which is www.twogeeksmic.com. Number 2, GEEKSMIC.com. What's cool is you can actually check out our live streams on our front page.
Yep.
So when we go live, it actually pops up on our front page. So, which is pretty cool. Also, if you want to contact us, I always encourage you to send us a line, an email through show@twogeeksmic.com. And if you want to support us and just help us pay for all the podcasting stuff, we have our site, ko-fi.com, ko-fi.com/2 Geeks, and we've got a couple of tier systems there to support us at, but we're pretty excited. We're still trying to build that, so we appreciate any kind of support that you can give us to help us do that. And we have our Discord server, which is very exciting as well. And with any at any level of support, you do get access to our Discord server. So that's how you find that.
Awesome.
Did I forget anything?
No, we do have 2 exclusive only episodes on Ko-fi, our Two Geeks classic sci-fi series, Logan's Run and Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan. And we are working on doing our 3rd one, which will be Planet of the Apes, the original Planet of the Apes.
The original Planet of the Apes. Yep.
And I'm looking forward to that one.
And then I'll release my horror episode, my first Stephen Watches horror movies episode. That's
going to be fun
this week as well. And also, yeah. All right. Well, cool, Mike. I'll leave it to you to sign us out, my friend. Thank you so much.
All right. With that said, over and out. And I am one with the green, and the green is one with me. Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
may the force be with you.